Animal tissues. Tissues which are present in animals are called as animal tissues, and based on their function, we can classify this animal tissues into four types. So the four types of animal tissues are: first one is the epithelial tissue, which is also called as epithelium, and this epithelium is protective tissue or the covering tissue. The second tissue is called as connective tissue, which is the packing tissue, and the third tissue is called as muscular tissue, which is nothing but the contractile tissue responsible for contraction and relaxation. The fourth type of animal tissue is called as the nervous tissue, which is responsible for control and coordination. It is the one which is responsible for carrying messages from one place to another. So here we can see animal tissues could be classified into four broad categories based on the function. So first is epithelial tissue, second is connective, third is muscular, and fourth is nervous tissue. Let's take a look at them one by one. So the first one that we have is called as epithelial tissue. This is the protective tissue in the case of animal. So can you see over here? This is forming a continuous tissue. So this is a type of epithelial tissue. And this epithelium tissue is forming a continuous sheath both on the external as well as internal surface of the body, and hence it would be also called as the covering tissue. Moving ahead, let's talk about the location of epithelial tissue. Since epithelial tissue is going to form a covering, a protective layer, so this epithelial tissue would be present all over the body. So it is forming a covering over the body, and it could also be termed as the outermost layer of the skin. So this epithelial tissue is covering the entire body in the form of skin, and epithelium tissue is also found inside the body cavity and in our hollow organ. So it is going to line our buccal cavity, our pharynx, esophagus, stomach, nose, air tubes, lungs, blood vessels. Everywhere we are going to find this epithelium. And the epithelial tissue, which is going to form the outer covering, would be called as the epithelium, but the one which is going to line the cavities internally, it would be called as the endothelium. So epithelium means the outer covering, and the endothelium means the one that lines the cavity. Let's take a look at characteristics of epithelial tissue. Epithelial cells are closely packed and they do not have intercellular spaces. They are tightly held together by cell junctions and cementing substances. Epithelial cells rest on non-cellular gelatinous basement membrane with collagen fibers. Epithelial cells may be flat, cuboidal, or columnar, and they do not have blood supply. Here we have three types of epithelial tissue. First one is simple cuboidal, second one is simple squamous, and third one is simple columnar. Moving towards the functions of epithelial tissue, first function is protection. Surface epithelial cells protect the underlying cells from mechanical and chemical injuries and from bacterial and viral infections. Second, absorption. Intestinal epithelium helps in the absorption of water and nutrients. Third, secretion. Some epithelial tissues produce secretions like sweat, saliva, mucus, enzymes, tears, etc. Fourth, excretion. Lining of kidney tubules help in elimination of waste products. Fifth, sensory perception, receiving stimuli. Sensory epithelium in the olfactory organs and taste buds receive sensory stimuli. Sixth, gametes formation. Generative epithelium or germinal epithelium lines testes and ovaries and produce male and female gametes. Seventh, respiration. Epithelium of alveoli of lungs help in exchange of gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide between blood and inhaled air. Eighth, forming exoskeleton. It produces exoskeletal structures such as scales, feathers, hair, nails, claws, horns, and hooves. Next is ninth, regeneration. This tissue facilitates rapid healing of wounds by its regeneration power. Tenth, movement. Epithelial cells having cilia help in the movement of various materials like dust particles in nasal passage, mucus in respiratory tract, urine in uriniferous tubules, ova in fallopian tube and oviduct. 11th, acts as barriers. It acts as selective barriers and protect against external factors.